I got my boss fired, and I didn't mean to. It started with a harmless email, or at least that's what I thought. But 2 months later, I was sitting in HR with sweaty palms, watching the man who used to call me his star employee get escorted out of the building. And everyone thought I planned it. I work at a big marketing firm, competitive, fast-paced, full of egos. I used to love it. I thrived on deadlines and pitch meetings until Adam became my boss. Adam was the type of manager who smiled in your face and stabbed you in the back. He made me work weekends, took credit for my ideas, and somehow convinced upper management that he was the reason our team was hitting record numbers. He wasn't. It was me and a couple of others pulling the weight. At first, I kept my head down. I needed the job. My mom was sick and I was sending money home. So I tolerated Adam's constant nitpicking and his weird habit of calling me late at night just to check in. Then came the big pitch. We were preparing for months to land a huge client. I worked nights, skipped vacations, even missed my brother's wedding. On the day of the presentation, Adam walked in with a flash drive and said, "I've got it covered." I didn't understand. I had spent weeks preparing the deck. When he started the presentation, my stomach dropped. Every single slide was mine, but he was presenting it as his own, word for word. No credit to the team, no credit to me. I was furious. After the meeting, I confronted him. He smiled and said, "This is how the game works. Play it or get played." That was the moment something broke in me. I started documenting everything: emails, texts, voice messages. I wasn't planning anything yet. I just felt powerless and needed proof that I wasn't crazy. A week later, I got an email by mistake. Adam had accidentally CC'd me on a chain where he was bad-mouthing me to the VP, calling me unstable and difficult to manage, saying I was on the verge of burnout. I remember staring at the screen, shaking. That's when the idea came. I forwarded the email to myself. Then I attached the file and wrote a short, calm message to HR, "For your awareness." I didn't expect what happened next. The next morning, I walked into the office and felt it right away. Something was off. People were whispering. HR asked me to come in for a quick chat. I sat down with 2 HR managers and a legal rep. They had printed copies of the email I'd forwarded. One of them asked, "Do you have anything else you'd like to share about Adam's behavior?" My throat was dry. I hadn't expected this to turn into a full investigation, but I had all those texts and voice messages saved. I hesitated for a second, then nodded and said, "I do." It felt like opening floodgates. Over the next few days, I handed over everything: messages where Adam asked me to keep quiet about billing irregularities, recordings of late-night calls where he ranted about upper management, emails where he manipulated team performance reports. At first, I thought HR would just reprimand him, maybe force him to apologize. But this thing snowballed fast. Apparently, other employees started coming forward too, once they heard someone had finally spoken up. Turns out, I wasn't the only one he'd bullied. One woman had resigned because he'd humiliated her in front of clients. Another guy admitted Adam made him forge expense reports. The pattern was undeniable. I wasn't allowed to talk about the investigation with anyone, but people noticed. Adam stopped coming to team meetings. His office door stayed shut. HR asked more of us for statements. The whole floor buzzed with rumors, and then came the day. I was grabbing coffee when I heard the news. They're firing Adam today. My heart pounded. I rushed back to my desk, pretending to work, when 2 security guys walked past, with Adam between them. He looked pale, lips pressed tight, eyes scanning the room. For a second, our eyes met, and I swear, he knew. He knew I was the one who'd started it all. I thought I'd feel victorious, but instead I felt sick. I barely slept that night. My mind kept replaying Adam's face as he was escorted out. The guilt gnawed at me. Even though he'd treated us terribly, part of me still felt responsible. The next few days at work were tense. People avoided talking about what had happened openly, but everyone knew. Some of my coworkers gave me supportive glances, others looked uncomfortable. One even whispered, "Was it you?" I just shook my head and buried myself in work. Then came the email, a message from the VP herself. "Please come to my office." My stomach dropped. I thought maybe they'd found out I had recorded some of those late-night calls without Adam's consent. Maybe I was in trouble now. But when I walked into the VP's office, she smiled. "We owe you thanks," she said. "You showed courage in bringing this to light." I was stunned. She went on to say that they had been suspicious of Adam for a while, but no one had come forward with solid proof until now. She then offered me a promotion. I couldn't believe it. After everything I'd been through, they wanted to reward me. But here's the twist. I said no. I realized something during all of this. I had been miserable for months. The toxic environment, the late nights, the constant anxiety. I didn't want to climb higher in a company that had allowed this behavior to go on for so long. I thanked her for the offer, but told her I needed a break. That weekend, I resigned. Now, a few months later, I'm working freelance, and I've never been happier. I set my own hours, choose the clients I want to work with, and sleep soundly at night.